if the axis of evil and terror that Iran dominates in this world, or seeks to dominate, the Middle East, it will expand everywhere. And so this is a battle that is important for Israel's future and our survival, but it's also critical for the future of civilization. So we set a goal, total victory. And that goal has three missions. One, to destroy Hamas. Second, to free our hostages, all of our hostages. And third, to ensure that Gaza no longer poses a threat to Israel. Now, when we set out to do this, even our best friends said to us, can't be done. They said, could be done. They said, well, you know, if you go into a ground operation, you run into horrible risks. If you go into Gaza City, you're going to go into horrible risks. If you go into Shifa Hospital, you're going to have to kill all the patients. You might kill all the patients and all the doctors and so many civilians. None of that happened. They said if you go into the tunnels, and these are experienced people who were thinking about the best thing that they could offer us, the best advice they could offer us. They said if you go into the tunnels, these are death traps that are impossible. Our soldiers are in the tunnels. Our brave soldiers are in the tunnels, demolishing the infrastructure of these killers. They're doing things that were unbelievable. And they're doing so in exemplary action. We're doing that in standards that no army has applied. It's not only I who say this. You should read the words of Colonel John Spencer. He's the head of urban warfare at West Point. He toured several times in Iraq. He says the Israeli army is going to lengths to prevent civilian casualties as no military has done in comparable situations. And he said there is no comparable situation. In Gaza, we're facing 30,000 armed terrorists with an underground terror tunnel network of hundreds of kilometers, maybe 500 kilometers. There's nothing comparable like that. He compares this to the Battle of Mosul. Mosul is smaller than Gaza. Mosul had 3,000 to 5,000 fighters, terrorists. It took America and its allies about 9 months. They achieved the conquest of Mosul and the defeat of the terrorists, and the ratio of those of civilians to combatants killed was about 3 to 1. Some say 4 to 1. 10,000 people were killed. We are now down to a ratio of 1 to 1. Look, every civilian casualty is a tragedy. But we're doing things to prevent this that simply cannot be compared to any other arena. John Spencer says, what other army gives advance notice about where it's going to attack? We have thousands and thousands and thousands of phone calls. We call the Gazans on their cell phones and we say, get out of harm's way. We drop leaflets. We offer safe corridors, safe havens for people to leave. It's incomparable. He says there is one comparison. In World War II, the battle for Manila. I wasn't familiar with it. I heard it from him. He says in the battle for Manila, there were 17,000 Japanese soldiers. And the American army went in, and they found something that they haven't encountered before, systemic tunnels. They weren't called tunnels, they were called sewage tunnels. And the Japanese soldiers used the sewage tunnels, which made the fighting a lot more difficult. Manila had a population of 1 million. 100,000 civilians were killed in that battle.